and welcome to Council Action. I'm Russell Inman, and joining us tonight from Ward 2 is Councilman Tim Jones.
Hey,
Tim,
how you guys doing tonight?
It's good to have you back.
You betcha. It's good to see you all.
You get the premier spot. I mean, this is the Christmas show. How lucky are you? How'd you work that one out?
I don't know, but I know everybody's down the street enjoying themselves while I sit here. But
Yeah, you're really the one suffering, aren't you? Well,
it happens.
I'll try to take it easy on you just because it's Christmas.
You bet. I appreciate that.
All right, no problem. Meeting started off with one of those kind of Florissant accolades, really commending the Florissant police officers for some jobs well done. And there were even 2 residents that were commended tonight for some of their help in police work.
You bet. I think everybody knows that pays attention. We have one of the top police departments in St. Louis County. We have the top, our Timmy Lowry is, the best you can get. And we are glad that he is steering our police department in the way he does. And some of the police department guys, the regular beat cops, they're great guys. I got to go hands down with them guys. They do a great job for us in the city.
Well, you know, we're not going to, I think I'm going to steer and not kind of go exactly to the agenda like we have normally, and it's just because of this one topic with the police officers here. Giving these commendations and really noticing how good the officers are. There is a topic on the agenda under resolutions. This is in opposition to Bill number 276, 2015, adopted by the St. Louis County Council pertaining to police services in cities. Can you take a minute, just since we were just talking about the quality of the police force here in the city, what is the county trying to do?
That's a very good question. We're hoping they're doing what they say they're doing. Like I said a minute ago, we do have the top police force in St. Louis County. We have for a long time, especially with Tim Lowry leading our pack of police officers. We all agree on this council that we want police standards. There is some bad police departments out there. We are just not in agreement how St. Louis County has went about it. They came up with a bill and then asked us to get on board with it. Usually, or we was hoping for, that they would reach out to us and say, this is the bill we're wanting to put forth on police standards, and hopefully get our support before the bill was introduced, but it was not done that way. Some of the things that we deal with as council people, and we hope that there can be some healing in this coming up. There's a bunch of lawsuits filed by a bunch of municipalities over this. It's just not a very good thing. We're not happy about it. We did pass this resolution tonight, letting everybody know that. I'm sure Mr. Lowry, Tim, that puts his time in, spends a lot of time in that police department for us. I'm sure it was a slap in his face. It was upsetting to us council people that know Timmy on a personal basis and as a chief of police, what that man has did for the city of Florissant, and for this to happen to him, it was downgrading. It was a slap in the face, and our council didn't appreciate it, and we didn't like it. We don't know what's going to happen from here, but we did feel that we should pass this resolution tonight, letting the city folks know where this council stands on that.
Well, a city like Florissant, a municipality, they've got certain sovereign rights.
Correct.
To act on their own in their own government basis. And
each
this
municipality does. And there's quite a few municipalities. I think it's like 96 now, still in St. Louis County. Some is run by St. Louis County, some is run by a cooperative. But we have one of the top police forces in the nation here in Florissant. And like I said, it hurts us.
When will we know more?
We have now passed this over to our attorneys. Okay. And I think that's where I better stop right there.
Okay. Well, the public hearings tonight, now we'll go back to the other subjects. Thanks for a little bit of a digression there. First public hearing we had tonight was closed, so that one had been postponed for several meetings in a row, and it looks like the petitioner there is just not moving forward with their plan. Then we had a special use permit for God Kingdom Fellowship Hall, and that one was postponed. So we'll see that one come back in January. I assume.
The reason they were postponed because their people wasn't here. It's not our city council postponing this. Sometimes we do postpone to do our homework to make sure we don't get no legal loopholes and just to keep everybody happy and doing the right thing. This time, though, these two people with both of them did not show up, which President Egan always does a swell job of announcing it and letting them know, here, we're here for you. Are you guys here or not? Is there anybody here to speak on this? And both of them was not answered tonight.
Okay. Old business tonight, we had a 1 second reading on the agenda. This is an ordinance submitting to the qualified voters of the city of Florissant for their approval at the general municipal election to be held on the 5th day of April, a proposition to authorize the city to continue applying and collecting the local sales tax on the titling of motor vehicles, trailers, boats, and outboard motors purchased from a source other than a licensed Missouri dealer. And it seemed to be the heart, what was brought up here by residents that we're talking about wasn't the fact that we need to keep collecting this sales tax. It was almost in conjunction to the election that was just run by City of Florissant with Prop S, and why didn't we run these together? Why didn't Prop S wait? Or is there other items that could even potentially be put on the docket when this one comes up?
Sure. Kevin O'Donnell, I mean, usually he's always here and shares his opinions with us, but his opinions are always not factual. Sometimes Kevin needs to step back and do a little bit more homework before he comes in front of us. It is, we're not going to always agree on this, but at the time we sat down, we thought it was in the best interest for this city, for Prop S at that time. We tried to do the best we could, communicating with the St. Louis Board of Elections as far as polling places, which cost money. A lot of these elections that we do have, we can share with other municipalities. You can spread it out a whole bunch of different ways. This one, we had to swallow the whole thing because we put Prop S at that date, and we thought it was best to do that. It did pass overwhelmingly. All the other taxes that were asked by their municipalities all failed. Here, Florissant's overwhelmingly told us that they want some streets fixed and maintained, and we're going to give it to them. We did something new that we see that's working. Instead of the council as a whole going after separate issues, we have broke off into commissions. And these commissions enables us to do several things at one time. The commissions then come back to the council with their findings and suggest which way they think we should go, and then they all take a vote on it. So instead of all of us working on one thing at a time, we have now 2, 3, sometimes 4 commissions going at it at one time. We are moving this city. We are being very, very productive. I think everybody up here tonight feels the same way. The administration does, the mayor does, the chief of police does. We are moving this city. We're just not sitting up here twiddling our thumbs. We are getting busy and moving this place forward.
Terrific. Good to know. Tim, we had requests. Back to the hens. I don't think we normally see the request for 4 hens come at Christmas time, but there is one for 693 North Lafayette. Health Department recommended approval. So did the council.
Oh, you know what? I have some chickens in my ward. I went by, checked with the neighbors before I would ever pass mine. Everybody does it differently. We have no problem with the chickens. A lot of people are starting to do it now. It's a wholesome food. The eggs, the chickens. Yeah. The only problem we have is the roosters, which is the male. We cannot have them cock-a-doodle-doing at 5 in the morning and waking everyone up. And everybody's came to that agreement, but there's been no problems with our chickens so far.
Okay. There was a request for a transfer special use permit. Mark Gillette, doing business as Mag Motors, to Corey Gully, doing business as the Car Doctor LLC. This is the operation of an auto repair business for a property located at 1890 North Highway 67. That got granted tonight as well.
Yes,
just a change of ownership, right?
Just a change of ownership. Same deal, same business, same location.
Okay. First readings tonight, the first 2 of them were ordinances revolving around prohibited parking on specific streets or specific even sides of a street on a couple roads in the city of Florissant. Now, what I took from this is there's some roads that are just too narrow, and if there's a car parked on each side, there's not really room for another passing car to get through.
That is correct. We do have some of those streets spread out. Them two happen to be in my ward, Ward 2. I've been very hands-on in my ward, which everybody knows that lives in my ward, that usually when there's an emergency go down, I usually show up. Not at all of them, but I try to be, and I try to stand back and let the police department or the fire department do their job, not interfere. Sometimes I ask too many questions. That's just how I am. But on a couple incidents here lately, I have showed up, and thank God there has not been cars on both sides of that street, else we would have been up a creek. We had our first responders out there. Some of them don't have courts to turn around in. Our streets are very narrow over there, that we couldn't get a fire truck or a trash truck down them if we have cars on both sides. I have had incidents with trash trucks missing people because they could not get down to them to get to the trash because there was vehicles parked on both sides. The chief of police did an emergency deal, put him up temporarily. A couple people got upset about him. I went out and explained why that we did these, and then they all understood that we don't want a house to burn down or somebody to get hurt. We can't get back to them. And sometimes minutes could inflame a house worse. Somebody that needs to get to a hospital, that could be damaging also. So I did put this request in. My council stood behind me and approved it. And I did this for the people on those streets. And it was Charlotte and McNulty, you betcha. And the Steins will stay full-time now.
Good. And then the last item for the first reading was a piece of that last request for the Mag Motors going to the Car Doctor LLC. That went through in 3 tonight.
Yes.
I think just to clear the agenda for the new year.
Yes, I think it's a good thing. Well, like I said, we've worked very hard. We look forward to this next year. We have these commissions going at it again, and we're not going to stop yet. We definitely like feedback from our residents and anybody that will participate. Especially with the Neighborhood Watch. That is really kicking up. I'm going to have a meeting coming up in January for all of Ward 2. I have appointed a lady to be ward captain over the whole ward in my Ward 2 for the Neighborhood Watch. We are looking for block captains and anybody to participate. That's just not Ward 2, that's all the wards right now. We're really trying to blow this back up again. The neighborhoods are changing and we need to change with it and let these people know. Most of these problem people are temporary people and they're gonna move on, but we don't want them to take part of our city with them when they leave.
Tim, what else is going on in your ward? We've pretty well covered the agenda. I know you always have a shout out for team and collecting canned goods for needy people. And
You
that's
bet.
A terrific fundraiser.
That is a definite. I always punch on team because I think everybody's had their times low in life where they've got laid off or was in between a job that it was hurting, and I've sure been there myself. I've always reached out to team. Sometimes I'll run by there, give them a couple $100 or have them meet me at the grocery store. But I always plug for team. There's always somebody hungry morning, noon, or night.
Tim, anything else going on that we should look forward to for 2016?
No, I could go into a list of Ward 2, but I'm working very diligently over there. I think everybody in Ward 2 knows that. Anybody that's ever called me, I definitely come right to their assistance, and I do what I can do. I can't fix everything, but I'm sure trying out here. And I think the rest of my council is on board with that also. We are very proactive out on these streets. We just need people participating. We need people calling the police when there's a problem. We need them to reach out to the council when there's a problem. There's a lot of people that still kick the table at home and say, I'm not calling that city. Well, that's their prerogative to do that, but they're not getting help by doing that. Their problem's still sitting there festering. Please reach out to your councilman and your police department when you need us. That is what we are elected to do.
And Tim, how can they reach you?
They all know that they can drive through Ward 2 and I'm out on my street 7 days a week. They know they can always find me, or they can reach me at my cell phone, which is 220-8227. I catch emails all the time too, and like I said, if somebody wants to find me, they drive around those streets in Ward 2, they can see me out there.
All right. Tim, thanks for taking the time to sit with us, go through this meeting. We appreciate your insight and letting the residents know a little bit more in depth about what's going on and how this agenda gets put together, okay?
Well, I tell you what, I was brought up, sometimes I throw things on the table, you gotta be honest. They might not like what you gotta say, but at least you're being honest with them and you're throwing it on the table. I wanna thank you too. You're not too hard on me tonight. I think it's because Christmas time, you're giving me a little leniency on the questions.
It's a Christmas gift for you.
I appreciate that, and I appreciate all your camera guys too, and I see we have a new young lady that's getting on board. Maybe she'll be a little nicer than you are.
It's very possible, very possible. Thanks, Tim. I hope you have a great Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Same to you. Pleasure always.
And thanks for watching. I'm Russell Inman. This has been Council Action. We'll see you next time.